Selling air because there's air in here. It's still the same amount of wood. When you get that baseball crack and bowling pin sound, that's dry wood. On the wood yard today, more Uncle Benjamins are coming home. It's a beautiful day and I'm gonna chuck some wood. We're gonna go pick up Uncle Benny. So my first order is for a face cord or a third of a cord, a ricka row. I'm gonna take from this pile right here. This is mixed hardwood. Mainly it's a lot of hard maple. There's some ash in there, some ironwood, but mostly hard maple. We're gonna fill the trailer halfway because that equals 1/3 of a cord, one face cord. We're gonna put it in and go do a dump. So it's chucking time. The wood is in the trailer. Third of a cord, a ricka row, a face cord. And a couple things I thought of while I was loading this that happened recently, and I thought it's worth talking about with you guys about. The other day on the channel, a guy watched one of my old videos. One of them I was talking about not stacking wood, and he was from out east, just saying. And he said, "I've fought my whole life to avoid being a guy like you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, whatever. Whatever." He said, "I sold wood for 15 years, and I was always stacking wood, making sure people got exactly the right amount." And okay, because I'm throwing my wood in loose, like you see a lot of times. And I explain this a lot because there's a lot of new people to the channel now because we're gaining a couple thousand subscribers every month. So the channel's growing pretty fast now. So I get a lot of new people. So this is a couple things that come up real often that people ask about. Like I've explained lots of times, I used to stack all my wood. I used to stack everything in a third of a cord or a full cord, and I would always take whatever portion I would need for that delivery. If it was a third of a cord or a face cord, as we call it here in the Midwest and most of the United States, it's one roll, 4 feet high, 8 feet long. I would just throw it in, and something happened after me doing that about 1,009 million times. It was always the same amount in the trailer. So I got to thinking, because other guys that had full-time firewood businesses, guys that sell semi-loads of wood daily, told me, you know, you don't need to be stacking your wood. Figure out how much your face cord is or your full cord, throw it into your trailer, mark the trailer so you know how much wood to put in, and you'll never have to stack again. And eventually, I figured it out that they were right. So that's what I do now. I put in as much wood as I need for my third of a cord or face cord, and I just throw it in loose. And I can just have it thrown in piles like this, so I don't have to stack anymore. So I'm saving about 400 hours a year not stacking wood, at least. For the average person, 400 hours equals 10 weeks of work. 10 weeks of work I'm saving by not stacking wood. My time is pretty valuable, so to me that was a big deal. When I finally saw the light bulb and I figured it out, it's like, yeah, I'm not stacking anymore unless I'm paid for it, or if I'm going to do a favor for a special customer, which I have done. I've helped them stack, or I've stacked it for them. A lot of elderly people or people that don't have really good health, I've done it for them just for good customer service. And I usually get tipped. A lot of people will pay me. People that will just come up front and say to me, you know, will you stack the wood? I say, yeah, it's $20 per face cord or third of a cord, so a full cord is $60. Takes me about 40 minutes. And that's if I have to build the corners. If I can just put it into a rack where I don't have to build corners to square it up, half hour I can have it done pretty easily. So that's what I do. Now, as far as selling air, like the guy accused me of, I'm selling air because there's air in here. It's still the same amount of wood. It's just loose. Now, when you are putting wood loose into a vessel for transport, like the trailer or a truck, whatever it is, it's going to take up more volume. So you got to learn how much that is. And generally, it's about 180 cubic feet for a full cord, which is 126 cubic feet stacked fairly tight. So 180 cubic feet. So figure out what you got to have and then put that much in. What I always do is I always put extra wood in. So if I get to where I think it looks like, yep, that's a face cord, or it's a third of a cord, or it's a full cord, I throw in a bunch more, because that way my customers are happy. I have stacked wood for my customers and proven to myself and to you that when I stack it into their racks that they have that are the 8-foot long racks, 4 feet high, when I fill it up, it's always crested. There's always an extra few armfuls, which I am okay with. I'd rather over deliver than under deliver. I always give extra. So there's that. I'm not selling air, I'm selling wood. I do a couple hundred full cords a year, and I've been doing it for a long time. I've been cutting wood for over 50 years. So I have a little bit of an idea what I'm doing. I'm not saying I know everything, but I have a little bit of an idea. Okay, enough of that rant. Now we're going to go on to the next thing that I saw today as I was doing this. Now, one of the things I get asked all the time is, how do you know when your wood is dry? Well, number one, to know your wood is dry, if you try to burn it and it burns really good without hissing and sizzling and water coming out the end and having it be hard to burn, if it burns really clean with very little smoke, it's dry wood. That's one way to know. So there's a lot of indicators. But when you're looking just at pieces of wood, the next way I would say is that you know how long it's been in a pile, stacked, whatever. Generally, most wood takes about a year. If you've got oak, something like that, that's a very slow drying wood, it could take 2 years if you got bigger chunks. Most of the wood I sell is this size right here, hand-sized pieces. This is what most people want that I sell to. I get requests daily from people that I deliver to when they order their wood. Please bring me small stuff. I have a small insert. I have a small fireplace. I don't want to have to handle big pieces. I want to be able to see the fire. I don't want big, huge chunks. I get that all the time because a lot of people that produce firewood are producing wood for boilers, for heating purposes. That's not my customer base. I'm in an area here where there's a couple 100,000 people. It's pretty much all residential people I'm selling to. Fire pits, fireplaces, things like that, small wood stoves. Most of the new houses, a lot of people I deliver to have new houses because it's just kind of how it is. The people that have old houses tend to kind of like to cut their own wood. They live out in the country maybe, but the people that I sell to, primarily that I deliver to, are in bigger, nicer, newer houses, and they have smaller fireplaces. They don't want big wood. And the other thing that comes up all the time is on the channel, guys will ask me, how come you're only selling a third of a cord, a face cord at a time? Why don't you just say your minimum is 4 face cords or a full cord and a third, or if you can get 5 face cords in your trailer, why don't you say that's your minimum? Because I wouldn't have very many customers. That works fine if you're selling to people that are for heating wood, but the people I'm selling to, it's for drinking wood is what I call it, for enjoyment, for watching the fire burn. They're literally burning money. They're sitting out on their deck or in their living room with a fire going, drinking something refreshing, whatever it is they're reading, whatever they're doing by the fire. They're not sitting there trying to stay warm because they think they're going to die because it's cold out, trying to keep the house warm. They're doing it because it's fun, and they don't want a lot of wood. These people that I'm selling to do not have big, huge storage areas, wood sheds. They don't want a lot of wood at their house. They want a little bit of wood that's kind of out of the way. Side of the garage on the outside, maybe inside the garage, maybe in the back of the garage. They don't have a lot of room, so they want smaller quantities. So that's primarily who I'm selling to. Now, so another indicator that I should mention is that obviously you got time. So a lot of people that burn wood for heat, they're cutting their wood years in advance a lot of times. A lot of people try to stay 2, 3, 4, 5 years ahead of what their needs are. So in case they have a really bad winter, in case they get hurt, in case they can't get wood, that kind of stuff, they're stocking up. That's not my customer. The guy I'm delivering this wood to, he called me yesterday and said, hey, can you bring me another load of wood? I'm just about out. I said, yeah, I can bring it tomorrow. Is that okay? He said, that'd be awesome. It's going to be the weekend. I need wood. That's how my customers are. They want it right away. So I have to have stuff ready to go. So they don't know about aging wood, but I have to know about it because they want it to burn today or tomorrow, not in a year or 6 months or 2 years. So one of the indicators, like I said, is time. So I know this wood here has been here for over a year now. Most of my wood that I sell is minimum 6 months to about a year, sometimes a year and a half. I usually will sell everything that I have every year, but I keep constantly making new wood so that it can get dried. One of the things you got to consider is the kind of wood you have and how it ages. Some wood takes longer to dry. Oak is one of them in particular, especially if they're bigger pieces like I mentioned earlier. So time is a thing. Know your wood species, know how long it takes to dry, know what size of wood that you need to split it to so that it dries faster. The smaller you split it, the faster it dries. I want to turn my wood over in 6 months. That'd be ideal. If I can cut wood in the summer, sell it in the winter, that'd be great. And that's what I do a lot of the time. Now, another indicator besides the time, knowing how long it's been, is knowing what to look for. Now, when wood turns gray like this, basically that's what a lot of people call seasoned, when it turns gray. You can see some wood in the back here. The lighter colored stuff underneath is got that creamy color. This is mainly hard maple in here, but the stuff on top you can see in the back behind me is gray. That's because it's been weathered from rain and the sun, so it's seasoned, which is what a lot of people say. Another indicator is if you can see cracks running down through the side and on the ends. If you see cracks, a lot of cracks, here's one right here. I'll show you this piece of ash right here. There's cracks right here you can see going into it, and on the ends there's cracks I can see, so that's another indicator if you see a lot of cracks. Another indicator is that if the bark is off like this piece, there's no bark on it. That means the piece shrunk down, it dried up, and the wood shrunk enough and the bark shrunk enough that it cracked and the wood basically shed its skin, which is what it is. This is an example. This is a piece of ash right here. I went to pick it up and I could tell this is the bark that was on it. The bark just literally it comes off like nothing. I didn't have to peel it at all. So I know that's dry. So that's another indicator. Another indicator, a lot of people like to hear this sound. When you get that baseball crack and bowling pin sound, that's dry wood. I know it is, and I know what to listen for. If it's more of a dull thud, it's usually wet. So there's those indicators. Here's another one. This is a piece of hard maple. You can see the bark here, how it's coming off the ends. You can peel this up. Whoopsie. So it's peeling right off. And I've delivered wood to people, and they'll get it, and I've had them grab wood and they'll peel the bark off to see if it comes off, or they'll look at it to see if the bark is on it. Here's another piece of hard maple where the bark just comes right off. So that's pretty common. Here is a piece of ironwood, and you can see here this ironwood, you can see by the bark, or at least I can tell. This is all peeling off. That's ironwood, so the bark comes off. So those are indicators to look for. Obviously, if it's lighter, is another indicator. If it's lighter, you can feel a couple pieces. If you split it open, split a piece open, right down the middle, and then you put your lips up against it, because your lips are very sensitive to moisture, and if it feels moist on the inside, on your lips, you can tell if it's damp, if it's dry or not. So that's another indicator. So those are things you can do without having a moisture meter. But ultimately, if you're selling wood, if you really want to know if your wood is dry, get a moisture meter. They work fantastic. I'm going to go grab one right now, split a piece open, show you how it works. So here's one of my moisture meters. I have 5, 6, 7, I don't know, I got a bunch of them. Companies send them to me and I've tried them all, they all work. This one is about a $50 one. It is a SBI. There's no model number on it, SBI. This was about 50 bucks, I think I paid for it. And I've got some $20 ones that work just fine. I've got a bunch of $30, $40 ones, they all work. You don't need to go spend a couple $100 on a lumber grading type moisture meter for firewood. These all work just fine. And the way they work is there's 2 prongs, as you can see. You stick it into the wood and it measures between the 2 of them. The more moisture there is, the more electricity flows, the higher the reading you get. That's basically it. So the drier it is, the lower number reading you're going to get. And ideally you want below 20%. A lot of you know this, but some don't. In the teens is ideal. Now, this piece of wood right here is a piece of ironwood. That's the one I peeled the bark off of. And the best way to test it is to split it in half. But this is such a small piece, I'm just going to stick it in and show you how dry this is here. So I'll turn on, my battery's dying on it here because I left it on the other day. It's working now, so we'll give it a try here. So here we go. Yeah, 5, I don't know if you guys can see it, 5.3, 5.7 it read. That's dry. But ironwood is really low. There it is. Oh, it hit 8. 8.5 I got, 8.5. That's as far as I can get them in. So that's that piece. Here's a piece of dry hard maple. I'm gonna try this. Here we go. 11, hit 11.1. Here is a piece of ash. I'm gonna try this one. Oh, it's turning off on me here. My battery's low, so I'll turn it back on again here. It might just shut off on me. Let's see what we got. 10.8. That's on the outside, but these are thin pieces, but I know they're dry because this stuff is dry. I'm gonna turn this off, and I got a piece of white oak right here. I'm gonna split it and turn this thing off because the battery's dying on it. So I'm gonna split this open. This was just cut, and it's from a piece of wood that Mike's over there cutting right now. So I grabbed it just to show you how high it can go, because I'm guessing this is probably gonna be somewhere in the mid-high 20s. I don't know. But I'm gonna split it open here, if I can do it. I grabbed my Husqvarna splitting maul here. See if I can still do this. It's been a while. Look at that. I split it open. Okay. Oh, that's not, it's actually pretty dry. I mean, I can tell by feeling it. So, turn this on, and I'm guessing this is gonna be in the 20s, I think. Okay, I was wrong. It's 30, 34-ish, 33. I don't know if you guys can see that. So that's how high it is, and that's not ready to burn. So now I'm gonna split open. I'll turn this off because it's beeping at me here because it wants to die. So that's the high one, and I'm gonna split open this piece of hard maple and test the inside of it so you can see what it is. Oh, stay there. All right. As you can see the fresh split right here. Let's see what she says. Survey says 15.9 is as high as it'll go. There you go. So, it's dry. Like I said, a lot of ways to test your wood. This is the most accurate because it's to the 0.1%. And if you're selling wood, it's a really good idea to have one of these. So before you deliver wood to people, before you're gonna be selling it, you split some pieces open, randomly check it once in a while. And I do that. I'll check my wood because I got some wood I know that's only 3 months old. That's right over behind the camera there. That it's ash and soft maple, but it's been out in the sun. We've had very little rain the last 2 months. It's off the ground on pallets in the bins. If you can see it, there it is. And a lot of that wood is going to be dry and ready to burn very soon, if not now. For sure in the next month or two it'll be ready to go. And then I got lots of other wood in the bins that can range anywhere from a year to a year and a half. I don't have a lot of old stuff left. Most of the old stuff is gone. But I also have a lot of wood that's less than a year old. And I always make sure that I check it before I'm delivering it to people because, like I said, they want to burn it today, not next summer, next fall, next winter. They want it today. So that's what I try to do. So we're going to go make a big steamy dump. So that dump is done, and I got to do another one just like it for my next order. So we're going to chuck in some more wood and go do another dump. It's too bad you guys can't be here. It's like 65 degrees, sunny, beautiful, beautiful fall day. Pretty soon it's going to be snow, and then it'll be 6 months of winter. That's going to suck, but it does sell firewood. There it is, another load is on. Time to go make another big steamy dump. So I just got back from doing that delivery. It is all done. See you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. Good night, Irene.